right, I just finished making this part, and this is the part that I want you to make. Make sure that you give it the right name, and all in all, it's coming down to making a drawing that looks like this. Let me show you how to do it. So to get started, of course, you got to start with a sketch. I recommend that we draw it from the right side. If you remember from the video that I helped you draw it with, we drew the right side as an example. So let's look at it from the right. And now grab a line tool. Don't think about the size of any of the numbers, just draw this shape. Well, now that you have that shape drawn, you need to go look at the video and you need to write down some numbers. Now, if you jump back to my previous video at timestamp 3.25 minutes, so 3 minutes and 25 seconds, you will have me looking at the right side view, and I have a bunch of numbers on there. A lot of them are halves, like 2.5 and so forth. Now remember, that is in dimensions of squares, not in dimensions of size. I'll give you one example. For instance, one of them is I put 4 right here. So I'm going to type 4. But that's 4 squares, and if you remember, 4 squares is equal to 1 inch. Well, how can I turn a 4 into a 1? Just divide by 4. So if you want a shortcut, take each one of the dimensions that I give and divide it by 4. And if you're working with ones that are angles, like for instance here, I can click on that point and this point. Sorry, I didn't click it. This point and this point. And now don't come out this way. You can come out this way. That's one dimension that you need, but I'm going to go straight up. And that measurement in my video was 2.5, which means 2.5 squares. And I'm going to divide that by 4, and that will give me this number, 625. 625 is 5/8, because 2 is half, and then plus another half of a square would be 125. So notice how it gives a little F on these. If you're taking a math class, you might think of an F that looks like that and think F of X. That means function, because we have typed a function. We told it this divided by that. That's a function. It's an equation. So you need to get how far this is and how tall each one of these are. So you're not going to get the length of this diagonal, but the height, which means you've got to click on this point and then this point and go straight out. Now that's not the right number there, but that number you would type some number divided by 4. Look at the video, timestamp 3.25. Get your numbers, write them down, divide them by 4 here, and get everything good to go. All right, now that you've got all your dimensions, make sure to hit the green check mark, and then we need to extrude it. The extrusion for that one was to be 4 inches long. And for preference only, you know what, I'm going to send it the other way. It doesn't really matter. You could also even make it symmetric if you prefer, but I'm just going to send it in one direction. So I'm going to hit the check mark on that one. And then I'm going to create a quick sketch here on this front face. And it might be useful if I use this top edge. So I'm going to right click and press use. And hopefully that should be fine. I'm going to draw a line going straight down here and a diagonal line going up here, and then one going back to the beginning. The only number that I need is that number right there that's highlighted, and that one, when I measured it, was 10.5 squares, which would be 2 inches and 5/8. So 2 inches and 5/8 is 2.625. That's all I need. And I'm going to extrude that as a cut going through the whole thing. Extrude. This is going to be a remove. And I got to select all parts of my triangle there, I guess. It's going to be through all. And there we go. Now, that's not it, because remember, we are going to do the drawing now. So I'm going to hit the plus button, hit create a drawing. We've got the same as we had before. You might see a whole bunch of them because yours will go on Onshape that you've already done. We just want this inch one from ANSI. You can click on recently opened if you see too many and you're not sure what to do. So just click on that one, hit OK. And remember, if you have a hard time loading, the trick that I showed you in the previous video is to copy the link, open up a second tab, paste it, enter. Paste is Control V, by the way, copy is Control C, and then force it to open in another one. And if it doesn't open in a few seconds, jump back to your original tab. If it opens like this, you're good to go. If it doesn't open, jump back to your original tab and press open. What you're trying to do is get past the network or the firewall, something like that, that seems to have a problem authenticating the drawing portion of it for whatever reason. But a student showed me this as a way to get around, and it has worked great. So use that to your advantage. It only takes a couple of seconds to go back and forth until finally the network lets it work. So we click this button here, Insert View. Press Insert. It should already have the part that we just made there on the ready. So click Part 1. It's kind of small, so let's bring in maybe a larger, oops, wrong way. Let's go the opposite direction. 1-to-1 maybe? That's probably good enough. So this is the front view. Then we'll have the right side view. Then I need to click on the front view again and go straight up. We can even put a 3D view here if we'd like. So you might need to, I'm going to hit escape. I'm going to kind of move things a little bit so that we have everything fitting. I'm going to make this one a little bit smaller. So it doesn't need to be overwhelmingly big. And hit the check mark. Move that a little bit more off to the side. Now, the whole point of this is to make an auxiliary view, right? So over here is the button that says auxiliary view. I'm going to click on the diagonal there. Remember how we drew it and we put it up in this space here? So I'm going to click on the diagonal and just go straight out here. Maybe there's a way I can hide that. Yeah, and hit OK. There we go. Now, it's not good that these are overlapping, so maybe I will need to change the overall size of everything. Maybe we'll just go with the same scale size, 1 to 1.5. Things are, oops, can't do anything right today. Double click, 1 to 1.5, enter. Check mark, there we go. What we don't want is things to overlap. Bring this back a little bit. I wonder if I can turn off the scale. Is there a scale label? Turn off scale label. Check mark. Yeah, I should have done that on the previous one. No need to show the scale label so much. Yeah, there we go. That would have been good if we did that for the previous one, the full section view, because everything had a scale label on it, and that's not necessary. We don't really need this one to have a scale label on it anyways. And we have one scale label here, which is good. Now, the last thing we need is to, and this is, sorry, it's probably behind my head or on the edge of my head a little bit there. Double click there and let's type what this was called. You should see the name that you already gave it over here. And that's auxiliary. Auxiliary just means extra, by the way. So it's auxiliary view, practice, and then hit OK, and then double click the dashes below that, Press delete to delete the dashes, and then type your name. Don't type my name, type your name, and then hit the check mark. And that's it. Make sure that now you click the share button and send it to me. Remember, you need to type my email. Of course, mine won't come up because I can't send it to myself. So I'll send it to fake me and hit share. My face should show up here if you send it to me. And then don't forget to do all the link sharing. Turn on link sharing, copy to clipboard. When you copy to clipboard, that's like you've copied it, like Control-C, then take it over to Canvas or take it over to Google Classroom and then paste it, which is Control-V. And then submit assignment to me. Don't forget to press enter so that it turns it into a clickable link. And then I will give you a grade for it. I hope that was a lot easier than the previous one. Can't wait to grade what you've produced, and I hope that you do well with it. And that's it. See you later.